now. So we're back running up over there. So with that being said, um, TC, if you want to jump in, you had something you want to add, we will take it right now. TC going twice.
May I go after TC?
You can go now. Let's go.
Is that
Bro,
Sudanese
something's wrong with my
brother?
app,
We
bro. I
were
can't come
building
off
bringing him
mute.
back up. Go
I
ahead,
can't,
Tom.
for some reason, I'm trying
Is
to come off mute and I wasn't able to come off mute.
is that Sudanese brother still in the room?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I want to give him some pushback because I did agree with what he was saying, but the way he framed the visa thingy was a little bit interesting. So my question is, it seemed like he was trying to say that the reason why South Sudan got put on that list was because of this Congolese guy, and I'm not buying that. So I want to understand the rationale behind what I think I heard, unless I'm wrong. I didn't
Okay, where
catch
are you
his
No,
name.
from?
I'm here. I'm here. I
No,
can
no, wait,
answer.
wait, Don. Wait, what's that like, Don? Where are you from,
I'm
sir?
from West Africa.
We're at in West Africa because West Africa is pretty damn big.
Yeah,
There's a lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Cape Verde Islands.
Okay, Caverdi, Caverdi. Go ahead. All
Okay, can
right.
I respond to him,
Yeah, go ahead,
Tom?
Don.
Yeah, so he may have some information that I don't know, but I'm sure I know he would what he's trying to refer to because South Sudan has a different problem with the United States based on political norms between South Sudan oppositions who got put in jail by the president himself, and the United States did not like that because he wants to do business with the United States and he's in jail right now. So that could be one of the primary. Maybe has some information about that. He can speak about it. But I want to hold a show about South Sudan. But I just want to make sure that he knows that I know a lot of things. I just want to make sure that the room is not about South Sudan. I just want to make sure that I just say that it is what it is. TC, you're wrong. John, thanks for allowing me to speak, and that's it. I don't want to talk about South Sudan in this room. Thank you.
Absolutely, guys. South Sudan is a very interesting story, guys. If you guys can read about it, go. I advise you to go ahead and read about it. 100%. So, guys, welcome back. We're in a bonus episode. We're in a bonus episode right now of Debate the News, and we're speaking about has Trump ruined the nation, the USA. So, with that being said, I want to see, is there anyone here that hasn't spoken yet? Is there anyone that has not spoken yet that want to jump on the mic? All right, good. Skull, are you here, Skull? Skull going twice because I see him here.
I am here. I am here.
All right, Skull, tell me you have one prepared. Just say yes or no. Do you have one? Yes or no?
I don't.
You don't. All right. All right. So, has Trump or is Trump ruining America? Yes or no, and why so?
Well, right now, there's certainly a strong case to be made for that. In between undermining our constitutional rights of not only non citizens, but also citizens, the only amendments that don't apply to non citizens are the Second Amendment and the 14th Amendment. That's a little lesson for all of you that have never bothered to read the Constitution, which seems to be a increasingly large number of my fellow Americans. So those apply to all humans, right? Not just American citizens. Now, the Second Amendment, the 14th Amendment, applies to American citizens exclusively. So you don't want a bunch of armed foreigners in your country. Makes sense, right? Pretty common sense, right there. But the rest of those rights are for everybody, folks. They're for everybody, not just people that are citizens or even people here legally or illegally. They're for every human on earth. That's what our founders believed. That's what I believe. It's pretty freaking straightforward. Now it's gotten to the point where the Supreme Court's had to slap them down multiple times. It's getting ridiculous. And then when it comes to the economics, oh my God, atrocious. As long as these tariffs stay in place, the economy will keep tanking. Right now, the American dollar has just broke below 99. It's at 98, gap down in overnight trading. This is the weakest the dollar has been in 3 years, and it's continuing downward. So that is, it's going to be rough. And if you following any business leaders, right? There was a guy just speaking, CEO of Munchkin. They make all the bottles and all the sippy cups, right? He's got 48 days of inventory left. All right, how are you going to get stuff for your kids, right? I mean, this is crazy stuff here, folks. Shipping's completely collapsed. The West Coast ports, everybody there in the West Coast ports, basically out of a job right now. It's getting real crazy. I'll land there.
You're wrong. First off, you can't point to one text in the Constitution that makes the Second Amendment exclusive to just U.S. citizens. I don't know where these liberals be coming up with this bullshit from. Honestly, at this point, I just don't know what to do. So why don't you enlighten us,
Snarky. It literally
Skull?
says citizens, dumbass.
Yeah,
The rest
yeah.
of the
No, it
amendments
doesn't
don't
make it.
say no. The
It
rest of the
doesn't make it.
amendments say people, and that one says citizens, which is why contextualists, i.e., people that can
Do
read,
you know what the Second
believe it's
Amendment
for them.
says? Do you know what the Second Amendment says? Let's pull up the
Yeah,
Second Amendment.
shall
Let's
not
go
be
ahead and
infringed, dumbass. I got a
okay.
fire
All right.
fucking
Let's go
vault
ahead
here
and
filled
Google
with
the Second
guns.
Amendment. Yep. Let's
Holy
go ahead and
shit,
Google the
you
Second
fucking
Amendment.
idiot.
Why don't you
All right.
answer? Why you call him dumbass, man?
I have more guns. My God, TC, I got more guns than you've ever seen. Just give it up, bro.
All right. So
Anyway,
let's you guys tell me where it says citizens. A regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Where does it say citizens? To the person that was calling me a dumbass and stupid. Oh, why are you so quiet, Skull? Are you the actual dumbass in this conversation? But no, leave it to Jonathan. He's gonna mute me and send me to the goo
no, I
because he
went
doesn't
ahead
like
and
what I'm saying.
copied. Here's the entire contextualist argument from the Reagan Library. Read it and
No.
educate
We're not
yourself.
asking for the
Bro,
contextualist.
I don't
Wait.
have
Wait.
time.
We're not
Yo,
asking for the
yo, yo,
contextualist
yo. I don't
interpretation. We're
have
asking
time
for
to
the
teach
text.
you
You
200 years of
said,
case law, my dude. I don't have
no.
time for
There's
that.
no case law here.
I don't
What you
have
said
time to
was it
teach you
literally said
200 years of
citizens.
case law.
You're wrong.
You have
You're
never
wrong.
bought a gun in your
Hey,
life. All this
you
cap.
dumbass. I have a few
If you
guns
had ever
actually.
bought a gun,
So
if you
everybody
had
on this
ever,
stage,
TC,
everybody on this stage heard you
TC,
say
if
that it
you had ever
literally
bought a
says
gun,
citizens in the
hey,
text. So
TC,
you were the
you
dumbass that
fucking
didn't know what
moron.
the
You've
actual
never bought a
text
gun in your
says.
life. This guy's never
So
bought a gun
so
in his
once
life.
again, everybody on
If
this
you,
stage heard this dumbass
yo,
say that it
yo,
literally says citizens in the text. I read you the text to the
hey,
Second Amendment. Where
hey,
does it say
TC, you
citizens?
literal child, if you had ever bought a gun in your life, you would know there's
Yeah,
a
I
checkbox
have a
on
gun. I have
there
a few
to prove you're a
guns.
citizen.
We're not
You
asking about
fucking
tech
FBI.
Guys,
specs
one
on
at
You
a
buying.
time,
moron.
guys. One at a
So
time.
Let's just start
Dumbass.
with
One
we
at
the
a
Hold on,
people.
time.
We
hold on,
the
hold on, hold on, hold on,
people.
hold on,
Bouncer.
hold on, hold on.
One
Done.
at a time.
Divine, since you're moderating the conversation, am I right or am I wrong? Before he was
I'm not.
calling me a
I can't
dumbass
hear
and
either one of
everything.
you because
Oh,
you're
you heard
talking
what he
over each
said.
other.
Okay, fine. Since you have
Well, I
hearing
heard him say
problems,
citizens. I
eh,
also heard him say it was the intent of the framers, which definitely it
no, no,
wasn't
no, no, no.
intended
He didn't
for
say that. He
everyone.
said the text is what he
No, I
said.
agree with you, but I'm
No,
saying he also
now he wants
said,
to. No. I'm not going to let you get away that easy because he just got done.
No, I did say it was the intent of the framers, and this man's correct. Perhaps work on listening, TC. You might have a better time arguing. Lastly, if you look at the FBI,
Don't
if
mute
you've
me,
ever bought
Skull.
a
Don't be a
gun,
bull.
it
Don't be a.
no, if you've ever bought a gun in your
You were
life,
you were
you
wrong,
have to
Skull.
check, you have to check a box that says you're a citizen. If you had ever purchased a gun in your life, you would have known that. And I
Actually, you're wrong, and I'm right. You said that the text said citizen. The text does not say citizen. You were flat out wrong, and you called me a dumbass for it and stupid. Everybody on this stage heard you. I think the recording's on in the other room. You were the
That's a
dumbass. All
typical
right.
Democrat.
Hey
So that's a typical
all
Democrat
right,
for you.
one mic,
Think he
guys,
knows what the hell he's talking
one mic,
about and
guys,
whoa,
doesn't
I
one
have a
just
mic.
got
clue.
bounced down to the audience,
Yeah,
Jonathan. Get
because you
Yo,
TC
bounced
out
me
of here.
down. You
one second. No one bounce call. Man, yo, who the hell's gonna bounce call? Because now
TC
you got
did it.
who?
TC
TC.
did it.
TC, don't do that. Don't do that.
No. Hold on, Jonathan, because what he was
Don't
doing was
bounce. Do,
I
do
was
not bounce him to
speaking
the
and he kept
audience.
muting me.
No, don't. He don't. No, he don't mute you. He didn't mute you. Okay, you don't know who muted you. Don't bounce him to the audience. Just like I tell people not to bounce you to the audience. Now you wonder why people bounce you to the audience. So don't bounce him to the audience. Now, Skull, let me jump in. Skull, you did say citizens. Okay, you did because I started looking it up at the moment you
That's
said it.
wrong.
Okay, but you also said wait. You also said the framer, what you call it, intent. Okay, so maybe that got a little mixed up there. All right, so you know. So TC, you were right when you said it didn't say citizens. All right, I'll give
Thank
you
you for
that.
being fair and balanced,
What are you talking
Jonathan.
about?
I appreciate.
I'm always. What are you talking about? It's about. So Skull, you want to jump in now and you want to address that the confusion?
Well, I don't see how there's any confusion here, Jonathan. Since it was ratified in 1791, courts have held that it applies to U.S. citizens
I
exclusive.
understand that
Okay, well, there's 225 years of case law saying this
case law.
applies to U.S.
And you know
citizens.
what, KTC, he did say he doesn't have time to upload that much case law to show.
Yeah,
He
Jonathan,
did say
I
that
don't.
as well.
This is the
Jonathan,
most democratic,
No,
liberal
TC, what are you talking? TC,
protecting.
hold on, hold on,
You're
hold on,
trying to
guys.
shield for this
TC,
dumbass
one
that.
second, TC,
Hold
one
on,
second,
Jonathan.
TC.
Wait, 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 wait. Hold on.
Wait. No, I got to
Hold
call this
on.
out, and then I'll give you the mic. He said
Jonathan,
that.
I try and
He said
and
that.
then you mute me,
I didn't
and
mute you not one time, bro. I'm not muting no one. Don't do that, okay? If I mute you, I'll tell you I mute you. I haven't muted anyone. All right, my hand's not touching the phone at all. So what I'm saying to you, TC, is just like I said. He said citizen, and you said no, and you went and looked it up, and you were right. He did say I don't have time to upload 200 something years, 40 years of case law for you. He did say that as well. But go ahead, TC.
I am a
no,
permanent
I
resident and
wanted
I own
to
guns.
ask the chat if they saw and noticed the rank hypocrisy that's in this room. This man spent 45 seconds calling me
Oh my
everything but
God.
the
You're gonna
son of God.
cry
Oh,
the whole
now
time?
Divine is
Why?
gonna run shield. Now Divine.
Cause you bitching. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's clear you've never bought a gun in your life, TC. You would have had to prove your
Why
citizenship
am
to
I
buy a
still getting
gun.
muted? Why am I
So
still
it's
getting muted?
very
Jonathan,
clear
I'd
you
like
don't
to
know
have my
anything
Guys,
time.
about
no
gun
mute.
ownership,
Jonathan, I'd like to have
that
my
you don't
time.
own a gun.
Jonathan, I'd like to
Okay,
have
you
my
One second,
you
time.
Mike,
can't
one Mike.
speak on things.
One second, one guys. TC, go ahead, finish landing, and then Skull, I want you to follow up after him. Go ahead.
So we actually learned who the real dumbass is in the room, and it's Scold. He's talking on
No
things he
tax,
doesn't have a
no
clue on.
tax.
Oh, but when he called me a dumbass, it was okay, right, Jonathan? That was
Go ahead,
fine.
TC. Go, TC. Go.
Yeah, because I can't defend myself in this room
Go,
because this is a
go,
liberal room.
go. I just said go.
So what just happened, what you guys all just witnessed, is somebody that stepped out of his lane, didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I corrected him on the stage. Now he wants to change the narrative because the actual dumbass in this conversation is him. You need to stick to reading talking points of economics from Bloomberg News, called, and leave the actual constitutional stuff to the people that know what the fuck they're talking about before you try and correct somebody like yours truly. What I said was 100% correct. Citizens does not show up in the Second Amendment because I know the Second Amendment by heart. Okay. Number two, it does not make it
Here we go again.
Well, it looks like
bullshit
he
on the
got muted
spot.
out by somebody.
No, no, I didn't get muted
Well,
out by
we'll
anybody.
assume
Go
you
back on
land it
mute.
there,
I'm
buddy.
talking.
So
I'm
this is
talking.
one of the
Thank you.
reasons
Guys, he
we're
did
go
not get
ahead. Yeah.
muted. Go. He didn't.
I'm talking.
Oh,
I'm not done talking. So what you did was you tried to create
He's getting a phone call. That's a phone call,
out of
guys.
thin air, and what you did was you tried to tell everybody that I was stupid and I didn't know what I was talking about. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Stick to the shit you think you know, and don't try and opine on categories that you don't have a fucking clue about.
All right, Skull. Go ahead, Skull.
TC's clearly never purchased a gun in his life, and the reason you don't hear the conservatives stepping up to defend him is people that actually own guns know that when you buy a gun in this country, you have to submit to a background check, and the main thing they check is that if you're a U.S. citizen. You would know that, bro, if you had ever bought a gun in your life, and it's really telling that you don't know that. So
You
you
don't
might
have to be
have
a US
you might
citizen.
have
You're
read the
wrong.
Second Amendment in a book
One
once,
mic,
but
TC. Do not interrupt
it's
him.
very
That
clear
wasn't me, Jonathan.
that you
Once again, with the bullshit.
you don't own any guns. You've never actually exercised this right. You've never
You
seen what
wanna
it
you
looks
wanna
like
come
to
by and see how many
exercise
guns
this
I
right.
own? You wanna come by
Hey,
and find out?
You don't know.
One mic.
You
One
clearly
mic.
don't know shit, son. I mean, you really don't. Because if you'd ever bought a gun in your life, you'd know that on the FBI form, you have to check a box that says you're a citizen. And I have a buddy that owns a gun store, man. He has to turn people away all the time that aren't U.S. citizens. The only way you could have gotten a gun if you weren't a U.S. citizen is if you bought it at a gun show from private to private sale, because it's technically a loophole, and that is it. But if you are buying a gun Okay, you have to prove you are a citizen. It is really straightforward.
I am a
And
permanent
also,
resident
I
and I own multiple
appreciate
house in
that you're
Florida. You
making
are
such a
wrong.
vehement argument that non-citizens get all the constitutional rights, which was the whole point of me saying this. And I really appreciate you guys arguing that. So when the Eighth Amendment right of habeas corpus gets suspended and someone gets imprisoned without due process, even if they're a non-citizen, you're right. That is a constitutional violation by our president, who was sworn to uphold it. Whoops. I land.
All right, I'm glad you're done. All right,
No,
this
no,
clown clearly wants to
no, 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 no,
deflect
no, no, no,
and
no.
create.
No, he gave no
I
new
know, I know,
information.
I know, I
No,
know.
he gave no new.
Let's
No, wait,
go ahead
TC.
and deflect
No,
and
no,
run
he gave no new
interference for the
information.
liberal. Yeah,
He gave no
go
new
ahead, Jonathan.
information.
Go ahead.
So anyway, TC, I definitely want to. I'm gonna let you chime back in, but he gave no new information. Gary had his hand up for a while. I need to go to Gary. Gary,
Hey,
let's go.
Jonathan, stick me in there afterward if you don't mind. Thanks.
Okay, who are you?
Marshall, Jonathan, how you been? Hope things are
Oh,
going
Marshall,
well.
what's up?
Not
Marshall,
much,
we
man. How
need
you
you over
doing?
here.
You going
We
well?
need you over here, Marshall. We need more conservatives like you over here. Go ahead, Gary. Gary going once. All right, go ahead, Marshall. Jump in,
He's
Marshall.
Yeah. So
muted. He's
I was
muted.
looking.
All right, unmute the stage. Let's unmute the stage.
So
All right, Gary, go ahead, Gary. Gary going once. All right, Gary, we're gonna come back to you. All right, Marshall, go ahead
yeah.
and
So
jump in,
I
guys.
looked this up. Non-citizens in the United States generally do not have the same rights to purchase firearms as citizens, while some non-citizens may be able to purchase firearms under certain circumstances. Federal law generally prohibits those in the U.S. unlawfully from owning or possessing firearms. Non-immigrant aliens are also generally prohibited from possessing firearms or ammunition, with some exceptions like hunting licenses or permits. Legal migrants, individuals lawfully in the U.S. may, in general, own a firearm. Non-immigrant aliens, which for those who are unaware, that means somebody like on a visa, generally do not possess firearms or ammunition. They generally cannot possess firearms or ammunition. Undocumented immigrants, they cannot possess ammunition at all. This then goes down to an alien legally in the United States is not prohibited from purchasing a firearm unless the alien is admitted into the United States under non-immigrant visa and does not meet the exceptions as provided in 18 United States Code 922 subsection Y subsection 2, such as a possession of a valid permitted hunting license. This comes from the ATF. I'm going to go ahead and stick that in the chat. Um, so non-citizens can own firearms, but the circumstances under which they can own the firearms are greatly limited as compared to U.S. citizens. So
So
that's the
basically,
thing to
That's
Skull was
right.
told
So
wrong
they have
again.
to be.
Skull was
So
wrong
they have
again,
to
and
be.
he
Right.
continues to be
So
wrong.
TC,
yeah.
And
I
So
so
like
that's
sure
why
what
we
TC,
we're
this
never
say,
man
doing.
read
talking.
the
TC, this man
Jonathan,
is talking.
definition
No, no, no,
Jonathan, I
no.
was
yet.
talking first,
No, the
Yo,
bro.
man.
You're
No,
doing this
non-citizens
Marshall
shit.
has not
have.
No,
landed yet.
Jonathan, that's
Bro,
One second.
bullshit.
I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah, man. One
This
second.
is bullshit, Jonathan.
Yeah, no. The
I'm
Marshall has not
tired of this,
landed. One
bro.
second. One second, guys. Marshall hasn't landed yet. Do not interrupt. Talking about you were talking, and then I'm gonna stop. Marshall, go ahead, Marshall. What were you
Yeah,
saying
no,
now?
no.
You're
I
closing out.
just
What were you
wanted to
saying?
finish that up by saying that the gentleman whose friend owns a gun store is right. They generally can't possess this. And TC, if you don't believe me, this is 18 USC 922, not, or D5, G5, and Y2 in the 27th
Never
CFR.
said I don't believe you. Never said I don't
I
believe you.
realize you didn't say that. I'm
Go ahead,
actually
Marshall.
pointing
Go ahead,
out to you
Marshall.
what the federal code is. So I put the federal code in the chat so that people could click it. It's from the ATF. It's a direct quote from United States Code. It's not a summarization.
Are you done,
All
So
right.
I'm
Marshall?
done. Get it? I'm
All
Okay.
done.
right, thank you.
So anyway,
Thank you,
so anyway,
Jonathan. You said I would
Gary.
be able to come back
No,
after he was.
I didn't tell you right now. I told you I had Skull, I had Gary, and told you I had Marshall. So Gary, you're up. Gary, let's go.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'll pass because I think you all kind of brushed on what I was going to say anyway.
And
Thanks.
what was that? Because I want to make sure.
it was about the goodness gracious, it's been a little bit and I forgot, but I did hear someone speak to it. I'm sorry, and I'm in the middle of something at the moment, so
No
I'll
problem.
pass. Thank you, though.
All right, TC,
Thank
what
you.
do you have to say
I
real
would like
quick?
my
Yeah.
time.
So,
I would
oh,
like my time uninterrupted by the idiot
No,
scold.
no,
Thank you.
TC, I'm giving you 60
Thank you.
seconds at most on this
Thank you.
because,
I'm sure I know, Jonathan. You're
yeah,
running
because I'm
interference
going to
for
get
the
scolded because we're moving on from
liberals.
this.
Yeah, I know.
Go.
You want to move on because he's wrong.
Actually, get this go. Marshall just said he was right. Marshall just said he was right. What are you talking about? But go ahead, TC.
You're trying to run interference for Scold, and you've got your minions on the stage muting me like Scold because he's
Bro, I
wrong.
had no one
Yeah,
meeting you.
that's
Go. Let's
exactly what's
go.
going on. That's
Go.
why nobody takes
TC.
Only
Debate the News
Canadians mute.
serious anymore. That's why nobody takes this room serious anymore
Okay.
because
What?
all you do is run interference
That's
for liberals.
BS, PC.
That's
Okay.
not BS. That's the
I got
truth. I've been
TC.
trying
Go
to
ahead.
speak.
Hey now,
TC.
Quit bitching,
TC, not
One mic,
TC,
all.
and
guys.
get used to it.
One mic, guys. TC, you just used up 15 seconds of your time. You got 45 seconds left.
Yeah, I thank you. I'd like to use my time as I see
Okay,
fit.
Ron. Let's
Thank
go.
you. So, as I said, nobody was disputing the statutory law of U.S. What Skold said, and he was wrong, which was the Constitution limits the Second Amendment and the 14th Amendment to citizens. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and he's wrong as general when he's talking on topics he has no clue about. Now, all of this statutory law and generally speaking, and this is what's been perceived, and Supreme Court precedent and all that other shit was not in dispute. Nobody disputed any of that. I disputed whether or not the Second Amendment specifically related only to citizens, which Marshall just verified for everybody in the room that even non citizens benefit from the Second Amendment. So you don't have a clue what you're talking about, and you should stay on mute when you're clueless instead of trying to impose yourself on topics you have no credibility in or no scholarship in. And I'm done.
Oh wow, he landed right on the nose. I can stop the timer.
Oh
Okay.
goodness. Can I
All
say
right.
something, JB?
Let's do it.
Okay, because you might not like it, but I'm sick of him. Okay, he has anytime anyone speaks, he makes it personal, but he discredits everyone and then elevates himself as if he is the subject matter expert on all things. The what's his name? Don was speaking of South Sudan. He told him he was wrong and he didn't know what he was talking about. Tira will talk. She's an attorney. He knows more than she does about the law. Dr. Catherine will speak. Now he's an MD. Like there is no, well, he was a Democrat. Now he's a Republican. I don't understand why he can't speak to what he knows instead of talking down and talking about and making personal attacks against everyone that disagrees with him. And matter of fact, I won't even say that. He just genuinely just disagrees with people just for shits and giggles. And literally that takes away from your credibility. There is no way that you are a subject matter expert on everything. And the way that you talk about people and make personal attacks is disgusting. And you're too
Facts.
smart for that.
Chad, who made the first personal attack? I'm speaking to you, you raging liberal. Who made the first
So all
personal
right.
This
So
attack?
anyway,
happens every now
So
and then. Just
unlike
move on.
them, I don't
well,
respond to your
Everybody
dumb
does.
ass.
Clearly, you don't,
we
because you
need,
don't know what the hell you're talking
anyway.
about half
Anyway,
the time you're
TC,
speaking.
guys, look.
I know
I
exactly what I'm talking
appreciate his
about. I don't
One
claim to
fluidity.
be
mic,
a.
one mic, guys. Okay. So anyway, anyone else wants to jump on this because we're talking.
I do. Jonathan, I
I
never
do.
claimed to be a subject matter
Yeah, no,
expert.
no,
I
no, no,
simply
bro. You can
claim
get
to
back to
know
you some
what I'm
other time.
talking about.
TC, I gave you enough. I'll come back to you later. All right.
by
I
the way,
jumped in
can
for
I
my.
can I jump in here real quick, Jonathan?
Let's do it. Go.
Because
So
as
we
you
just
heard from
gonna
the other,
continue to
as
lay
you
on
heard from
TC and
the other
TC
Bye
can't
bye.
conservative,
defend himself is what's happening, right?
No, you can
Like
defend
everybody
yourself.
gets to take shots at TC and
No,
I
no
gotta
one's
mute the
taking a
fuck
shot at
up.
you right now, bro.
What,
We
so we
like
didn't
Bye
just
let's
bye.
hear
move
chat
on.
go on
Let's
a
move
10
on,
minute tire?
as
bro.
yeah,
God
TC,
damn it, TC. Can you stop crying, you snowflake?
who the fuck is that?
Someone on
Apologies,
Clubhouse.
I'm a
Jonathan.
CH.
Oh,
Apologies.
But we
damn.
agree with him.
That
But go
was
ahead,
bull.
go online.
Apologies,
Go ahead.
Jonathan.
I just want to say that as the other conservative posted, right? Generally, illegal aliens or legal aliens here, either way, are restricted from owning guns, right? And he even cited the actual federal code, right? The federal law the ATF enforce around this. There is a very narrow exception if you're a permanent
That's
resident.
not what you said earlier.
If
You said it doesn't
no, no,
pertain to
no,
TC,
non-citizens.
No,
wait.
TC, we're
Hey,
not doing this right now. You're not interrupting. We're not doing this interrupting.
yeah, stop. Show some respect. Okay, so there is basically a narrow exception if you're a permanent resident and you have a hunting license and they agree to give it to you, right? But that is on a very case by case basis, and all three
Wrong.
of those things
You don't
have to
need a
be true.
hunting
You have to be a
license.
permanent resident, you have to have a hunting license, and then they have to still clear you, right? So that is not like a guaranteed right. That is definitely a privilege, right? So you saying that is a, broadly speaking, no, it's, you're not allowed to have a gun if you're not a U.S. citizen. I land.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I don't claim to be a subject matter expert on everything. I've never gone bat to bat with Dr. Catherine. I don't know even know what she's talking about with Dr. Catherine. What I did was I did what everybody else in this room has the right to do. Was I challenged a presumptuous liberal that claimed to have the facts but didn't know what he was talking about. When he was proven wrong, the entire liberal agenda left room came to his defense. And what did I do? I simply quoted the facts. I gave you the actual text of the Second Amendment. It's very clear. Now, here we are getting into rigmarole about gun laws and statutory rights for people that are citizens and non citizens. None of that has anything to do with my initial correct statement, which was that the Second Amendment does not pertain only to US citizens. It doesn't even quote it that way. So we can move on. But what I won't do is I won't stand idly by while a whole bunch of liberals try and lecture me on why they're so right and I'm so wrong. When 9 times out of 10, when I come off my mic, I'm correcting some dumbass shit that you guys are saying. And I can't help it, chat, that you get your validation from the liberals in the room and you need their validation for you to even exist on this app. Because if you were to do it by
Here
yourself,
you
you'd be
Time,
go.
time,
Here
disqualified.
time,
you
time.
go.
So
You're
Time.
that's
such
not
a
my
you're
TC,
problem.
you're
such an
done. You're
That's
done.
idiot.
your problem, and
That
I can't
shows
help
how
that
Chat
for
dumb
time.
you
you.
are.
And
That
you
you
know what?
can
It's
never talk
unfortunate
about the
that you are
issues,
in the
but you
way
always
of
have to
every
make it
conversation.
TC,
You
personal.
don't
TC, 1 second,
You're
contribute.
Mike.
done.
TC, I
You're
gave
not a
T.
contributor to the
Oh
TC, time is
man,
up.
conversation.
shut
You're a
up, square
detractor in
Anyway,
box
the
anyway,
Minecraft
conversation.
head
You
ass.
have no clue what you're talking about half the
anyway.
time. That's why
Look,
people
You're
TC,
done.
permit you
TC.
and
Look, bro, I don't want to
tolerate your
have to
dumb
drop
ass.
you. Like I
Oh, he
gave you.
needs to go.
Can I jump?
All right,
Can I jump in?
1 second. Yeah, go ahead, Angela. Let's go.
I hate to go against some of the people in the room, but Skull did come in and say
Oh
he insult
God.
basically insult. Oh God. Oh,
We clear that.
could
That's
you?
that's been clear. Angela, that's been cleared up
No,
already.
no, 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 no. It hasn't been because
It
when
has.
if
It
you let
is.
me have,
Oh
if you let
God.
me make my point, or
Guys, do not mute
if
her.
you want to mute me and you
Don't do,
don't
do
want.
not mute her. Go ahead, Angela. Go ahead, Angela. Make your point
The
because you
point
haven't
of the matter
spoken.
is, Scald came out and made a statement subjective to the entire room, basically saying the Constitution states, and I'm sure the majority of you have not read it, so insulting basically the majority of the room. Number one, he stated what the Constitution says. TC came and corrected him, which he should be allowed to do because, right, freedom of speech, right? That's got to be in there too. So he was right, and then Scald went into the text. And to be clear, chat, if you're gonna insult TC the way you
I don't
do,
know why
you
you
have to
talking to
be
me.
because
You're
you're
not.
gonna interrupt me. If you're going to
One mic on
insult
Angela.
if you're going to insult TC the way you did, you have to be able to take it back. If you can't take it back, then don't
One mic
insult him
on you.
because you insulted him first. And I'm just being observant and just clarifying these points. I'm not getting into the gritty of it, but this is the clarification from an observer listening to the conversation. If you're going to insult him, you got to expect it back. TC, you come
Listen.
in. TC,
Oh,
you
I
come
thought
in
you were
with
done.
great intelligence, and I appreciate it if nobody else does.
Thank you, Angela. There are
Yeah.
reasonable people in
So
debate the news. I
here's
appreciate that.
here's my
Thank you,
point.
Angela.
Thank
You
you.
guys should get
You
together,
got
you
it.
two.
Exactly. You
Angela,
No,
should. It'll
TC,
be an
you should
episode of
get to
Dumb and
Cabo
Dumber.
it's
Wabo.
coming. It's
All right,
coming, Jen.
one mic on chat, guys. One mic on chat. Go ahead, chat.
Yeah. I know you're still upset that you and the other Bopsy twin got proven wrong in your points earlier when I was attacked first.
What Bobsy twin? What are
Then
you
I don't
talking
know.
about?
Well, wait a minute. Didn't you say let you finish? Don't
What
interrupt
Bobsy
me.
twin? I don't
I
understand.
would
What Bobsy twin?
appreciate the same respect. Can you mute up?
Who's
Thank
the
you.
Bobsy? Who's the Bobsy twin? You muted me already.
Angela, do not interrupt her. I stopped her from interrupt you. Do not interrupt her. Go ahead.
Yeah, she probably can't help it. But I know like there's still, a tinge of anger attached to that. But you want to talk about attacking first. You literally came off your mic earlier in the conversation to defend someone that attacked me first. And because I said something against what TC said, now you're on the opposite side of me when the first time you defended it. So I don't know what your character is inconsistent. The first time, the person that attacked me first, she was okay with doing that. You were okay with that behavior. Now, when you say that I attacked him first, now that's a problem. I get it. You just want to oppose me, and I understand that. But this is what I need you to do: oppose me on something that's knowledgeable. Oppose me on policies. Oppose me on the news. That's what I would love for you to oppose me on. But instead, the depth of your conversations, as well as TC's, always has to go personal because you don't have a leg to stand on. Understand, learn, and have some knowledge about what you're actually talking about instead of doing what other maggots do, which is attacking people. Talk about the point. If Trump is doing such a great job, tell us why. But instead, what you all do is you call people dumb, you call them stupid, you attack them, and you never make a case for why you think he's great. So until you do that and level yourself up, don't come to me and try to stand on the opposite side of me just for shits and giggles. Know what you're talking about before you talk to me. And I'm done.
Good. And I'll come back to you.
Damn.
Now,
Barth, go
let
ahead,
me say
Barth.
what I did.
Go
I
ahead,
don't know
Barth.
what I
Scott,
said before.
one
Let me
second,
finish.
one second, Angela. Scott, let's go.
Oh, I can't
I get
interrupt
a
Mr.
chance to
Dane.
respond to that, Jonathan. That's
No, no, no,
unfair.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
You got. Look, you responded before, and then she responded. And then she's gonna
No,
want to
no, I'm going
respond.
to respond to it, even if it's
No,
10 minutes from now. I'll
no,
respond to it,
okay,
you know.
you can. I'll let you respond to it later on. Go ahead, Scott.
Well, mine has to do with actual news. So if we're still doing this, I don't want to break up the party.
No, go ahead. We can come back to it. Go ahead.
Well, I kind of had a whole thing about it, but I'll just get right to it because I forgot it. We're talking about something that is kind of funny. We're debating like who can legally purchase a gun and all that when the majority of crimes that are committed are used with illegal weapons. 50 to 65% of murders in this country outside of domestic violence are done with stolen firearms. Um, and I had more on it, but that's a good starting point, I guess.
Then I'd like to respond to some of the attacks that were lambasted at me.
No,
Hilarious.
TC.
So, so,
We're moving on. This is not a response show. This is debate the news show.
Jonathan,
Okay.
if you're gonna have people
Bro.
debate,
We've
they're
had
gonna
we.
need to respond, Jonathan.
Yeah, exactly. DC, I've given you.
I can
Look,
keep it. I can keep it to the text. Let's keep it to the.
no. We're moving
Let's
on.
keep. Jonathan, that's
DC,
fine.
I don't want to have to end this comment this night right here, with you, bro. I'm trying to be generous with the time.
No, you're
Please
not. You're trying to
allow
be
me to be
generous with the
generous.
fickle,
Okay.
sensitive
No.
feelings of the liberals.
Okay.
Is what you're
Anyway.
trying to be
Okay. Good.
generous
That's
with.
fine. That's fine. So anyway, who else was waiting to jump in? CH. Anyone on CH wants to jump in? Anyone on CH has something they want to contribute? CH going once, CH going twice. All right, guys. Has Trump ruined America? Or is Trump currently ruining America? That's what we're discussing today on Debate the News. Guys, listen to me. Debate the News is a podcast. So, as you guys know that's listening at home, you guys can join us. If you guys didn't know, that you get this is a live podcast, which means that you guys are able to join us and every night here on Chatter Social live. Okay, you guys are able to come in and participate in the conversation and not just listen to the conversation. Also, if you're here in the audience, folks, please do us a favor. All right, we have some really good episodes out there, some really great stuff out there. Do go up top and do me a favor and make sure you guys uh, follow, like, and download some podcast episodes. Once again, follow the podcast or like it, depending on what's going on, how they do it. Okay. And download some episodes. That will be a great help. Guys, right now, the podcast numbers are doing great. We yesterday we doubled. I mean, we already matched our monthly total for last month. Okay, which means that we're expecting to more than double this month. and hopefully next month we'll double this month. So that's where we're going. That's how we're targeting. That's what we're shooting for, and it's all possible because of you guys. Okay. And so with that being said, gotta control what I was gonna say. We're gonna jump right back into it, guys. Is Donald Trump ruining the USA? I said earlier, I believe he is. Um, I believe that the things that has happened, has transpired so far, the court, with the Supreme Court having to get in on so many of these executive orders, with just I don't know, our due process being threatened. I feel like it's being threatened, and with our allies are no longer seeing us as allies. People are seeing us as unreliable, and that's not a good thing, folks. It's not a good thing. And I know we're saying that, hey, once Trump is out of here, we could go back to normal and we can rebuild those relationships. It's going to take a long time, and people are never going to be able to trust us because they know, because if he continues to do what he's doing, they know that we have a constitution, okay, and not only the constitution. We call it the constitution in your stomach. That constitution, that both ways to allow this to happen. Okay, United States Constitution and the Constitution in your stomach that allow this to happen. That's what I'm saying. And so they're not going to trust us. They're not going to be. They know that they cannot rely on us anymore. And when you look at the EU, when you look at not just the EU, likewise, um, you look at Canada. You look at some of our staunchest allies. Guys, we slapped everyone in the face with tariffs pretty much except Russia. And don't say Russia has sanctions, okay? Because Iran has sanctions as well. Iran had more sanctions than Russia, okay, and exports less goods to us than Russia. But we still slap them with sanctions, so that doesn't work. So I think he is running America, and this is not something that probably will be fixed in my lifetime. I think America is going to be viewed with a lot of the distrust. They like moving forward, and I'll tell you something else. American citizens, when we travel abroad, some of the luxuries that we had, where we may not have to have had a visa, or we may there was like they made it easy for us because we're American citizens. I think some of those things are going to go away. Just little things that because a country when they get mad, the little things that we're used to, they start to disappear. And so I think we're going to be treated differently, as when we travel around the world. Now we were seen as, I don't know, elite, special, and when we travel, around the world, well, and envied. You know, I don't think we're going to have that as much as before. So that's my take on it. Anyone else that wants to jump in on this, man, and how they feel about Donald Trump? Has Trump ruined
Hey,
America?
Has
I'd
Trump?
like
I
to.
can jump in. I can jump
Go-
in. This is
go-
Laura. Has Trump ruined America?
Oh, sorry, or is ruining either
Yes.
one.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we have some massive challenges. He has his lowest approval rating, right? He has a low approval rating. More people disapprove than approve him. We have a massive reduction, uh, a correction in the S&P 500, down 10%. We have close to a bear market, almost 20% down on the Dow Jones. We have public approval rating, as I mentioned, was down. We have massive environmental rollbacks, progress that was made in so many areas that we've rolled back. We have gender equality and equality and other types of affirmative action and DEI rolled back, right? Diversity wins, folks. And look, corporate America, individual entrepreneurs are going to do what they want to do. He can't control what we do as entrepreneurs. Half of the country works in entrepreneurial organizations, right? He does not control private companies or public companies. They're going to do what they want to do. The thought of taking back support for Harvard because of Harvard's DEI policy, what that's just insanity. That that a president of the United States at this time, 2025, can do things by making changes in executive orders, which later got what did not go through around the gender of an individual and whether they should be in the military if their gender has changed, right? Their biological, if their gender on their license or their passport changed from what their birth gender was. Diversity makes a huge difference. Diversity wins in this country. Equality is critical. We have a global economy. He's created a trade war. Inflation is going through the roof, folks. The stock markets are down. The markets are down globally, although China's doing pretty well in some respects, but that also partially is due to, the Chinese government's going to have to step in if they need to support potential challenges with respect to Chinese imports to the United States. But we already have, and I'll end here. I am a two to three decade executive in the manufacturing and distribution industry, and as well importing products from Asia and produce and even built a plant in China, in northeastern China. And I've been to China, I've been doing business in China for 3 decades. And I am a owner of an electric bike company here in the United States, as many of you know, and that are listening. We have already seen massive price increases, which is going to make it harder for people to enjoy going into the cycling season this spring. I'm out here in California. California is an epicenter of people getting outside, living healthy, riding their bikes. I rode in Redondo Beach to Hermoso Beach today. I saw more electric bikes than pedal bikes. There were as many people on bikes as there were people walking and running. So electric bikes there's a massive shift in this country from, especially in the younger generation. They're not getting out and moving. We need activity. We move, and I'll start landing here. There was an article about a 77-year-old woman, 5'2", 95 pounds. She's done 100 marathons. Her biometrics, everything about her health is like a 25-year-old. We have to get out and move. And being able to do things, a lot of the products that we buy in the sports industry and athletic industry are made overseas and are imported. We're not going to build manufacturing plants in this country, folks. It's not going to happen. So yes, I think landing here, environmental rollbacks, gender equality rollbacks. The stock market is not doing well. Inflation is going up, and he's created a train wreck. And yes, do we need to balance the budget? Yes, but this is not the way to come into office. Back to you, Jonathan.
Thank you very much, guys. And one of the things you kept hitting on is diversity wins. Diversity wins. Okay, you guys. I gave you guys a true stat. Grant knew it was a true stat. That's why he left. That um, you know the 10 poor out of the 10 poorest states in this country, nine are red, and the blue is the New Mexico. Then I talked about the 100 poorest counties in this country. 95 of them are in red states. Now, I'll give you guys some other stats. The wealthiest states are the most diverse states. All right. So when you look at California, when you look at New York, when you look at Massachusetts, even when you look at Texas, Florida, okay, Washington, Oregon, Illinois, New Jersey, Maryland, those are some of the most diverse states out there. All right. And if you look at the poorest states, they are some of the most non diverse states: Kentucky, West Virginia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. All those are some of the least diverse states. Okay. And they are the poorest states. So when you guys sit there and you guys think about diversity and what diversity looks like and what it means, diverse. Hey, if you want to take it further, what are the richest cities here? the richest cities. Okay, you look at, I don't know, San Fran, New York, L.A. Rich cities, Chicago, San Diego, the richest, the most wealthiest cities. Okay, when you start looking at the most wealthiest cities, guess what? They're the most diverse cities. Okay, you want to look at some of the poor cities? Okay, they are some of the most non-diverse cities. So there's a trend here, folks, and it's not accidental. Right? It's not accidental. That is something that is real, and that's why companies that are diverse, they're some of the most profitable guys out there.
Hey,
Now,
Jonathan, I don't want to interrupt you, but when you're ready, I want to come back because Barth was just rude in the chat.
okay, so yeah, when you look at some of the companies out there, they're it's diverse, guys. Look, this is not being made up, you know, and I don't even want to sell it. I'm not trying to sell it. It is what it is. The fact speaks for what they are. You know, if you go to the cities, even in some of these other states, you look at Florida, red state, Miami, Orlando, all those things. They're very diverse, and that's where most of the money is. And I know they have Palm Beach and all that other stuff, but that's where they go to live after they made the money in those cities. All right, so that's something different. Okay, you come up, you go to North Carolina. Look at Charlotte. Okay, red state, but that's their economic center is diverse. It's Charlotte. All right, and it's on and on and on. So that's something that you guys need to just be mindful of. So you're right, diversity does win, Laura. Laura, I'll turn the mic back over to you.
Yeah, I'm pretty calm from an emotional emotional regulation is a um, great thing for people to practice and think about. But Barth, uh, I'm just going to call bullshit. Right? Google Laura Frank Bernard. I've been in the electric bike industry
It
since
was a joke.
2016.
Listen, it's a joke. It's me
Okay.
saying, "Send me 4 bikes."
Oh,
Get it?
okay.
I
Okay.
don't
Well,
believe I
okay.
believe you, but I want
Okay.
4 bikes. So since you called
Well,
me out on it,
Barth, go
well,
on mute. Nobody wants to hear you
shut the
speaking.
fuck up,
Laura was
TC. Hey,
speaking.
Bing, I actually have something to add. Oh, go ahead, Laura, if you weren't done. I want to counter on Bing.
no, I'm just like, I always like it when some dude tries to
Oh, I
question me,
want
but
you
I'm
to
glad that
prove
it
me
was a joke.
wrong.
And I
4 bikes.
do go on my, Google
My
my
kids
name,
are
go on
10.
my
No,
website.
I know
And
you do,
by the
Laura.
way, hold on 1 minute.
Oh, sorry.
Your
Plug
price
away.
just went up by the tariffs. I'm
No, I
just
want
kidding.
it for free. I don't believe you. Prove me wrong. My
Oh,
address is in the
yeah.
chat.
No, I don't go with your bullshit. You're not getting anything for free, my friend. Add some value, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, I don't believe you own a bike company. Hey, Bing, I want you
Hey,
to.
hey, hey! I bet I'm the only one in this room who's raced their bike across the United States and funded an $80,000 budget in 2015 to race across America with 4 people, including me. So you're not getting a free bike. You get what
Okay,
you get what you pay
I get
for.
it. I don't want your bike. My Sam's
Uh,
Club ones work fine.
Good.
All right, Bing. I want to make sure I understood what you were just saying. Are you saying the red states are the least racially diverse or business diverse? Is that
No,
okay?
I didn't say that at
I
all.
just want to clarify. I
What I'm
apologize.
clear, I'm going to clarify. What I'm saying is the most diverse states are also the wealthiest states. All right,
So is that
yeah,
based on race?
that's the diversity all around, race, everything else. Yes,
Okay.
every all around, not just race. Bars, Scott. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, I did a quick grok machine, and
Not
it
Gronk.
says the
Watch this. Do Google.
lowest diverse, mostly white, I guess is what you wanted to hear. Number one, Maine. Number two, Vermont. Number three, West Virginia. Number four, New Hampshire. And number five, Montana. Keep the South out your mouth.
Okay, but once again, when you said once again. I didn't name any of those states.
You said they were all red states and implying
No,
like the polar
no,
one.
no, I didn't. I did not say that.
Okay, I apologize if that's the way I took it.
No, what I said was that the least diverse states, and you're going whatever. They are the poorest. Now look up Alabama. Look up and guys and
I
look up.
have it right here.
Okay, look up
Vermont.
Alabama, Kentucky. Go ahead.
No, I'll go with the number one least diverse state, 90.8% white. Maine,
Hmm.
Vermont, 89.1% white. West
Hmm.
Virginia, 89.1.
And West Virginia's one of them. Yep. Hmm.
New Hampshire, 87.2.
Hmm.
Montana,
Yep.
84.5. I just did the lowest five. I can keep going.
Keep
And,
going.
okay, hold on.
Everything I said holds true. Okay, and that's why I said diversity all the way around. But everything I said holds true.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
the
don't think
least
he, I
when
don't
you
think
when
he
you
heard you
okay.
say poor though. He didn't hear you say poor.
Oh,
He didn't hear you say that part.
okay. So, so once again, exactly. So, exactly, the poorest. Yeah. So once again,
Are we talking about poor states or diverse states?
okay. Once again, I said the poorest states don't have diversity. Is what I said.
But I just gave you the top five. Are you saying Maine, Hampshire, Vermont?
No, no, no. I said the
There,
poor. Once again,
That's what I'm trying to understand. You know what?
I said the poorest states. Okay, it's what I spoke to. The poorest states, bro. Look at the 10 poorest states in the country, bro.
All right. Okay. Let's do the 10.
Okay.
All right. You ready? Fuck. Where'd it go? Hold on.
Why don't you use Google? Why are you using this Gronk shit to try to whatever to get some bias shit? Why don't you just use
It's
regular
not
Google?
bias.
Actually, the
What
shit you come out with
is
some
that?
bad shit all the time, but that's fine.
What? I mean, okay. You use your Google machine and
Nah,
you
bro, I
tell
already
me.
told you. And the only blue state on there is New Mexico. I've done
What
this
do you,
several times already. But anyway, while Scott's doing that, guys, anyone else wants to jump
Yeah, I'd
in?
like to speak, JB.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh,
What's
go
up?
ahead.
Yeah, Trump hasn't ruined the U.S. We've ruined the U.S. and government has ruined the U.S. We have overspent since 1970s, early 80s. We 80s to the 90s. We tripled our national deficit. Poor policies and poor spending on our part because of having too much debt. So Trump might have offended these countries, but he's dealing with national deficit. He's trying to get them to the table to renegotiate their trade agreements. That ain't the only thing that's uh, that's kind of impacting it. A lot of the uh, money we lose is in our government itself. All these you know Medicaid. There's pieces of Medicaid and Medicare and government spending is the most, and national defense, there's a lot of money spent that's affecting our national deficit. It just didn't start. It's been started since probably mid 70s, and in 1980s, Apple set the precedence by sending the first company kind of leading the way uh, overseas because they can make a product cheaper, and it was a baseline for a lot of other companies to leave. So it's not Trump's problem, it's our problem. And as a nation, we need to look at ourselves and tighten up our belt in our homes and do our part. We have not been doing our part. I found this one article on wasteful spending. I'll put it in the chat, and you'll read it. There's some ridiculous things we send monies to for programs overseas to different countries that are like guys getting circumcised and stuff like that. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't know if how legit it is. Uh,
Hello?
but it's man. One of them was like, I'll send it and put it in the chat, and y'all look at it. And I'm going to continue to research and see if some of these things are true. But some of these things we're spending money on, we need to be checked.
Scoob said, "Yo, I don't know if this shit is real, but I'm upset about it."
That's right. I got you. I got your list.
And he says it's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. All right,
Yeah,
ready? Here's your list. The
okay.
lowest 10 states. You ready for this? You're not going to believe
The
it.
lowest 10, the
At
poorest
coming
10.
in at
The
40.
poorest 10.
Well, I want to make sure I gave the question right. Give me a list of 50 states based on diversity ranking. Is that what you want?
What?
Or do you want me to tell?
No, he said the 10 poorest states,
We
bro.
already know the
Damn.
poorest. That's not
Oh
what
my
we were
God.
talking about.
I know,
Yeah,
but
that's exactly
Oh,
what he
I'll
said,
do
Bart.
that.
Oh
Ah,
my
bro.
God,
That's
bro.
what I asked when I was
yeah,
Yo,
beginning.
can
Is
we
this
move on?
based
Can
on
we move on,
yeah,
diversity?
please?
yeah.
Can we move
Boris,
on?
can
Anyway,
I translate for you?
Oh, thank you, Lee. I need it bad.
He found the poorest states, and he said if you look at them, you can see that those are also non diverse states and
Exactly.
counties. So it's a correlation. It's not one list and then the other list.
so yeah. So yeah, who on CH? Who was that? That's John. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate that.
No, she's
um,
my official translator.
thank you for the white talk, Leah, because he didn't understand the black talk.
No, she speaks. Respect my spectrum, Bing. She does. It's
So,
ridiculous.
so no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, CH, who was that that's trying to jump in for CH?
Well, let me give Barth the states since he couldn't find them: Mississippi,
Right
West
up.
Virginia, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, South Carolina, New Mexico, Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee. These are the least rich states, or should I say the 10 poorest states
I
in
know
the
that,
Union.
but Divine, I wasn't arguing that. I
Okay,
was talking
so
about diversity.
these are so okay. If you look, I
I
mean,
agree with you,
you
Divine. You
how
can
diverse
stop.
are those states? Like we can look at by just me saying the name of those states, we know those states are not diverse, my brother. All right, I'm done.
That's false.
Diversity
They
works.
are diverse. 25 on the list is Mississippi is the most diverse state. What do you got to say about that, champ?
Diverse state doesn't mean anything. You got to look at the companies and within the companies, uh, the if it's diverse and how it's producing. You don't see it so much at the top, and you see it based on each company.
I agree. I'm just talking about race,
Okay, and
diversity.
these are some of the most red line states:
Bottom
Sundown
10
Town,
race on for
Adams.
diversity Oregon,
Okay,
Colorado,
good. You want
Virginia,
to talk?
Utah, Connecticut, New Jersey,
Okay,
Hawaii, Washington, Massachusetts, New
yeah.
Hampshire. Okay. You done? That's what I was
I
talking
didn't
about.
hear. I
We
didn't
already
hear
know
word.
the southern states are the poor or the red states are the poorest.
You're asking me to speak and jumping
No,
over
I
me, and
wasn't
I
asking
can't.
you. I said I'm done with you because I know what you're talking about, which is nothing what I'm talking about. Bing was talking about diversity in states, and
And I'm responding to that again.
no, Leah
You said
translator. We're
you
good.
said look at what you said. Look at Mississippi. You said Mississippi is very diverse. Was that what you said?
25th.
Okay. And that is one of the most red line states that you are ever. You could say that is diverse, but are the people
What
working
do you mean by
together?
red line?
Oh my God!
I don't know
Somebody,
what red line means.
somebody speak his language, please. I'm
Hey,
done.
hey,
Nikki,
I got it. I just want to ask Bart a question. Hey,
go ahead.
when you read, you
Well, honestly,
still
honestly, Devon, you're not making a lot of sense. So, I mean,
Well,
it's
hold
not
on.
somebody that needs to
wait
She
a
speak his
said
minute.
language.
someone
You're not
was
I'm
making a lot
just
of
speaking.
sense.
speaking.
Go
Hold
back to
on,
your
y'all.
Chili's
Quentin,
margarita.
go ahead, Quentin. Go
Now, I just
ahead.
wanted to ask Barth a quick question. Like, when you read, do you still like use your finger across the page, or you like just reading it without holding the book?
He
No, I
can't
use my
read.
nose. It's big. Works easy. Is that all you have, Quentin?
That's all I
Damn, it's
had,
good to hear your
man.
bad
Cause
jokes. It's been a while since Clubhouse.
you just keep saying the same thing over and over again. I'm getting confused now. Like, what we talking about?
All
And
right,
Jesus.
Quentin,
Mississippi is
bring
not
some
diverse.
education to me then.
Yeah, correction.
Teach
Mississippi
me
is
wrong, or teach me, Quentin. I know I'm
Mississippi is
wrong.
not diverse, Barth. So you're wrong again. Mississippi is not highly diverse compared to other U.S. states. So wrong again. Hence, Bing's point. The less diversity you have, the poorer the state is, proving that when people come together, your state will prosper. But you have people that do not want people to come together. And if you don't know what redlining is making sure that certain uh, individuals or certain races are pigeonholed into certain communities and do not get the representation, but they fully
Redlining
get the
is like the
taxation.
railroad track, the railroad tracks in your neighbor in the South.
Oh, you're talking about all the white trash
she,
redneck
she
people
said
that
you're
live in trailers.
Can't speak his language.
Hey, hey, I'm from Texas. But I was curious though, Scott, you were talking about the five poorest cities or states.
Me specifically, what
He
I
doesn't even have
asked,
a clue. That's not exactly what he said. He was
look,
Dude,
talking
it's
about
move
a.
based
move
on
out of the
diversity
way,
ranking.
Minecraft. Please let him finish.
I,
Because
Minecraft
he
is
kept being
nasty work.
interrupted. So let him finish.
chat. What I asked the Grok machine, I said, give me 50 states based on diversity ranking. First of all, Divine, am I asking the correct question? If so, Mississippi is number 25 on the list. The bottom 10, like I said, the least diverse states: North Dakota, Iowa, Ohio, Utah, Wyoming, Kentucky, Montana, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and West Virginia. I don't consider West Virginia in the South, so the only one on there is Kentucky, which they're borderline Southern. Anything below Knoxville, Tennessee doesn't count. So, Divine, tell me what I asked the Grok machine wrong. Or use your Google machine and
Okay,
tell
so
me.
take those same states and ask how much money do those states make, and do those states have state
No, they're
taxes?
more,
That's another
Divine.
thing.
I agree. The lowest 10 based on, okay, the bottom 10 based on the diversity and economic development, call it. Number one on the list, good old Mississippi. Then we got Louisiana, New Mexico, West Virginia, Arkansas, Kentucky, Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and
And
Tennessee.
that was Bing's point.
Well, that's why I tried to clarify. Well, I got the clarification 10 minutes ago,
Thank you for
Divine.
walking. That's what I was trying to do is walk it through, Divine and Scott. So thank you.
Appreciate
Bottom
it.
bottom line
Hey, if I
line
may,
is diversity
Spectrum
works.
respected.
Diversity works.
hey, if I may,
So go ahead, CC, with your
Agree.
bullshit. Go ahead, because you want
if
to
I
go
may,
Well,
against
I
me.
mean,
Go ahead.
it's very simple. You guys are creating a logical fallacy. What Jonathan did was he attempted to impose correlation for causation by making the argument that the most diverse states or the least diverse states are the most poorest states. That's a correlation that he made that has bears no type of resemblance to the causation or the causal factors that would contribute to A, whether they're the least diverse, or B, whether they're the most porous. And Bert, in his delusion and trying to understand the concept, basically exposed the weakness of the argument for what it was. Because what he did was he pulled the least diverse states in the country, which were not the poorest states in the country. So it basically crumbles the argument that the least diverse states are the poorest states in this country. He's creating a correlated argument and trying to make it a causal effect, and it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. What I actually, TC, it does work that way. We're talking about states that actively go out their way to ensure lack of diversity. All right. New Hampshire is in the north east, and it doesn't go outside of Vermont, northeast. It doesn't go out of its way, okay, to do that. So,
yo,
you
how does
know,
this tie to
yeah,
Trump? How does this
politics
tie to
plays
Trump
a
losing money in
part in this,
America?
plays a role in this. So, what do you Maine? Okay, it's blue state. It doesn't go out of its way to do to exclude diversity. Now up there, I'm sorry, a lot of melanated people don't like the cold, so they're not going up there.
Yo, how does this relate to the topic? That's my question for real.
Great question. Hey, I can get it back. I mean, we've had enough.
No,
Okay.
Hey,
because TC he's so eager to fucking
No, I
challenge things.
apologize.
You don't have to apologize, Scott, because you're right on with what you're doing. But I just wanted to for the person on CH that said that this someone challenged a statement, okay, and it's very on topic because someone said that diversity wins and Trump is trying to stop diversity, okay, and she kept saying diversity wins, and I agree. Okay, diversity does win, and the facts proves it out. Not just the facts, the numbers prove it out. Year after year after year after year, every damn year. And if you want to go down to the South, okay, especially the Southeast, all right, and you start looking at that, you know, the shit's horrible down there. Tennessee, look at Alabama, Mississippi, all those states down there, Kentucky. Okay, you look at all those states down there in the Southeast, considered part of the Southeast. and you look at this shit, and you look at how they're doing economically, then they have been proactively trying not to have diversity and fairness across the board. And guess what? They're so busy doing that their fucking economy is poor as hell. And then you look at Atlanta and Florida. Look at Florida, okay? They're thriving. They're diverse. You look at Atlanta. I mean Georgia. And you look at Atlanta. Atlanta has more GDP than Alabama, Mississippi, West Virginia, Tennessee, all of them combined. That one city, okay, has more than those than a couple of those, two of those states combined. Okay, than two of those states combined. So yeah, and it's a very diverse city. So once again, I'm not making this shit up. It's real. You may not want to hear it because it destroys your narrative, but it's real. And I will go to bat. I mean, TC, if you want to go number to numbers, okay, on any of this stuff that I said, let's do it. Because you will win. I mean, you won't win. You will lose.
So my thing is, I don't totally disagree with you, right? So I believe you're right. Diversity does win, right? But my only, if I'm playing devil's advocate here, right, I would ask you, do you agree with Biden? I don't even want to say opening the borders, but easing the policy on immigration. Like, do you like? Would you say that that hurt or that helps? That helped the cause? I would say
What cause are you talking
not
about?
cause, but like, did that hurt or help
The
America?
only cause I'm talking about is the United States of America,
Right,
bro.
right. So, and I asked you, so to play devil's advocate, when Biden was took it easy on the immigration policy and just let people in, I mean, would you say that that hurt us? Because that's a form of
Who's
diversity.
us,
America, the
bro?
country, America.
But Biden didn't take it easy on the immigration. Okay,
What do you mean? He
It's crazy as hell. We had COVID, guys. There was a lot of pent up anxiety, like people that we wouldn't have, listen to the earlier podcast. You'll hear it. We discussed that, but I
so
see your
educate me.
point.
I'm not trying to argue.
Let me just
I
this
want to
right
be
here.
educated. I'm
Okay,
saying
immigration has never helped us. I mean, hurt us. Okay, I said again, immigration has never hurt us. The reason we are the way we are is because America is a diverse nation. That same diversity that I just spoke about with states and counties and cities is the same diversity that we have here. Now, when you go to other countries, a lot of other countries, they don't have the diversity that we have. Okay, but yeah, and they have some of them have more people than we have. Okay, some of them have more natural resources than we have. Some of them have, but yet they don't have what we have because we allow people from all over the world to come in here and build this country. What does an American look like? Okay, American looks like Bruce Lee. An American look like Carl Lewis. American looks like Bruce Jenner. An American looks like just everyone. It's like that. That's what an American looks like.
I
okay.
don't
Hence
So
why
think
it's
so right.
called the
So
melting pot.
right. So and
I
and
don't think I don't think we should have to pay for DEI. I think companies and businesses and government should realize that DEI works for them. So I mean, I don't think we should be spending money into it. I think companies should realize it works.
and I'm not. And again, you're absolutely right in everything you just said. But there are some things that I would add to that though. For instance, when people come from other countries and these businesses can pay them way less than what the going rate or what the medium rate is or mean rate is for like a qualified individual. And then they could lowball the Americans that were already here and pay those people coming over here. I think that is a form of hurting us. But on a overall masses, I do believe yes, you're right. Diversity does win in the end. But if I may, to answer the direct question in the topic in this room, um, let me preface this by saying that I'm 36 years old. So um, I can only speak on what I lived. You know, I think it goes. If I had to pinpoint a time and when I think all this bullshit started, I would pin it back to Bush because even as a kid, like, yeah, I didn't really understand what was going on under the Clinton administration, but I really don't remember this much chaos under the Clinton administration. And when I look at Bush and when he was doing with, going after Saddam Hussein and spending all that military money and all the resources, and I felt like that was a personal vendetta that started the ball rolling downhill. You know what I'm saying? So, so to answer your question, Trump is he is he ruining it? He's making it worse, but he didn't start it. He didn't ruin it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't ruin it, but is he making it worse? I do believe he's making it worse. The tariffs, it's mm, if I'm following the money, it's too early to really tell if the tariffs is going to work. People are so saying that China has, that they're gaining leverage on us, but people don't understand that China is way bigger than us. So their greatest strength is also their greatest weakness, right? They can't sustain, they can't sustain the tariffs that they put on us like we can sustain it against them because they got too many mouths to feed. And in the end, that's going to hurt their economy and more than it's going to hurt us. So um but yeah, so that's my answer to the direct question in the room. I think Trump is not making it any better, but he's not ruining it. It was already ruined. And I'm gonna just land there.
Okay.
Jonathan,
I'll wait one second. I just want to do this real quick. I want to let someone else, and I'll probably just go. I don't think President Bush ruined, started ruining. I think he presided over a bad time uh, in the housing market crash, and he could have done a lot of things different and better. I think America, how we got to where we are right now, happened on January. I think it's January 21st, 2010. I gotta look that up. I think it's January 21st, 2010 is how we got to where we are. Okay. Anyone knows what happened January 21st, 2010? I think that's anyone.
Tea Party? At the beginning of the Tea Party.
No. Anyone.
Bailouts.
No. Citizens United.
Oh yeah, personhood.
Ooh.
Citizens
I think
United.
The
I
personhood of corporations.
One second. Citizens United. Citizens United. And Citizens United introduced what is called dark money. Okay. Uh, into politics. Okay. Citizens United. So, that's where we are, where people, politicians, they go after the big money donors. And those 501c, whatever, where they can hide it. You're supposed to be able to donate the money and see what it is, but then when you do it under a nonprofit, and it creates dark money, and you can't find out where that money's coming from. Those special interest groups, Citizen
But
United,
what was happening before Citizens United?
and I'm telling you, like let's take Ohio. Let's take the state of Ohio. Okay, Ohio, they and the Republicans were smart with Ohio. All right, Ohio was always before Citizens United was a purple state, a bellwether state. All right, after Citizens United, it started to lean red. But Ohio isn't as red as everyone think it is. All right, Ohio is not as red as everyone think it is. What the Republicans did was they got real smart. Instead of trying to go after the national level, they went after the local level, the state levels. Okay, and they poured a lot of money in the 2010 elections. All right. Remember, they had the 2008 elections, which was the presidential elections, the 2010 elections, okay, which was the midterms and everything else. What they did was pour a lot of money into the local and state elections. And that's where they focused their efforts at because they wanted to win as many seats as they can in the state legislative. And why was that important? Because it was a census year. Okay. What does that mean as a census year? Well, that's when the maps get redrawn. Okay. That's when the maps get redrawn. And so they poured their money into the state local elections. The state local elections, they won. And I forget the guy name. Oh yeah, guy got indicted. Guy got in trouble. The Speaker of the House in Ohio. I forget his name. Guy ran Ohio like a what you call it, like a tyrant. And he punished those that didn't fall in line, and he rewarded those that did. I forget his name. Skull. Are you here, Skull? Skull's not here. So anyway, they won.
John Bowie or something like that.
I
John
don't know.
something.
I can't recall. But they won a lot of seats, and then they went about redistricting Ohio, and they carved it up where they had a overwhelming majority. Okay, even though and the majority that they had. Okay, so in the House and the representation in the state house. Okay, and so that's what they did, and now then they were able to redo the maps, and now it's hard for the Democrats, even though to get control of the House because the way they drew those maps up. There it is. Citizens United. That's I think is the downfall of it all. But anyway, just want to go ahead. Somebody else wanted to jump in there.
I was just wondering, Jonathan, if you looked over that document or any of you that document I submitted. I mean, I can read some of it to y'all, and y'all will sit there and your jaws will drop because it's crazy. Um, the amount of money different organizations spend on foreign things we do with foreign countries. I always thought NAFTA was the one that set precedents to all of the countries that impacted trade with other countries. I think it was a bad thing. I'm glad it was we got rid of it, but it's too late. Its impact on the way we trade with China uh, and other countries, it just set a bad precedence.
Wait, I got another question too. You said so 2010 Citizens United, right?
Yeah,
So that's
let me
under.
look that up. Let me look that up because I gave you some dates. I wasn't certain. Now, hold on 1 second here.
I'm about to say because that's Obama's reign. Like, so if he let that go, then are we putting that on him?
No, that's the Supreme Court. That's not Obama.
Okay,
It's
got you. No, I'm asking for click because
okay.
I
Oh,
don't
yep, there it
I
is.
don't.
January 21st. Yeah, I was correct. January 21st, 2010. 5-4 decision.
Got
So,
you, got you.
righty then. So, Skull, are you there, Skull?
Let's give Skull a break for the night. He's been wrong a lot tonight. Let's give him a break and let him come back to fight another day.
I don't know, so Skull. All right. So, yeah, guys. So, anyway. No, guys. So once again, when we're speaking about whether or not Donald Trump ruined America or is currently ruining America, I say yeah. All right, but since you want to get called a break, TC, jump in. Answer that question.
No, I mean, listen. All I said was, Skull is tending to his wounds right now. His pride is hurt, and he needs to take a break. And that happens to the best of us. No, I mean, Citizens United definitely upended politics as we know it. It allowed for corporations to spend limitless amount of money on campaigns. I think you referred to it as dark money. I don't necessarily disagree. It allows for corporations to take their political contributions and spend them in various obscure ways so that people can't track it back to the corporation or track it back to the candidate. So there's some people that's been very outspoken on this in the Senate specifically. Uh, I forget the senator's name, but he's basically been running an entire campaign to repeal Citizens United. But I don't think that necessarily factors. I don't see how that factors into the grander scheme of things. I mean, it basically allows for corporations to do what they typically have always done, which is influence elections. And it worked for the Democrats in 2020, and yeah, it'll probably work for them again in 2026 for the midterms.
Hey, Jonathan, I looked at that document, wasteful spending out of the White House, and here's some of the results I got. So y'all can at least think about some of the areas we're spending money. We spend one.
Scoop, before you do that, can you explain to me the correlation? Because you keep going, you go back to that, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm just trying to understand because I know we've bounced around. Can you explain like what the correlation is with where we are in the conversation?
Fifth grader, like to a third grader, so she can understand.
Listen, I'm not JB. You insult me one more time, that's your ass.
Ooh,
Break
what
that
you gonna
neck,
do, chat?
chat.
Ooh, I'm
Yep. All
scared.
right. Y'all have a good night. I'm gone.
Okay, this is from the White House, and the organization is called the United States Agency for International Development. We spend 1.5 million on advanced diversity and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities. 700,000 $70,000 for DEI musicals in Ireland. 2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam. $47,000 for transgender opera in Colombia. 32,000 for transgender comic books in Peru. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. $6 million to fund terrorism in Egypt. Hundreds of thousands of dollars for nonprofit linked to designated terrorist organizations, even after an inspector general launched an investigation. Millions to Eco Health Alliance, which has involved research at the Wuhan lab. Hundreds of thousands of meals that went to Al Qaeda affiliated fighters in Syria. Funding to print personalized contraceptive birth control devices in developing countries. And hundreds of $1 millions to fund irrigational canals, farming equipment, and even fertilization used to support unprecedented poppy cultivation and heroin production in Afghanistan,
Let's go.
benefiting the Taliban.
I don't see an
Those are
issue with half the things you said, to be honest.
what's that?
So I don't see a problem with half the things you read out, like irrigation and women do need ads. So
They're all supporting terrorist. Some of them are supporting terrorist organizations.
yeah, supposedly.
Who has a problem with what I read?
We
That's
need that source. Where are you reading that from? It sounds like
from the
some
White
QAnon
House.
shit.
I'll post the link. It's from the White House.
Oh, it's from the White
It's
House.
Doge
Okay.
stuff. Doge stuff.
Yeah, hey, they supplying the terrorists with cocaine and heroin. They say.
Got to
I'm
be
in the
true. It
wrong.
came from the White House. It's
I'm in the
fact.
wrong.
What's
I'm in the
up, bro?
wrong
Well, I
business.
looked up multiple sources. They didn't one source. This comes from multiple. I mean, I looked it up under multiple sources. This is the most reliable, I believe.
All right, Scoop. Good job, man. Um, so yeah, guys. Oh shit, chat's not here. All right, so all right, guys. Let's get back to it. Divine, jump in, man, because you're on that vacay, man. You're on that spring break, bro.
No, spring break is over. I'm back on duty in 12, less than 12 hours, but it's
Are you
okay.
serious?
Yeah, it's over. It was last week. You ain't see I was here every night last week. I was holding it down.
I
Back
did
to the
not know. Wow, we just started
yeah.
spring break. We just started spring break.
Oh yeah, we got different states, different schedules. But now I'm here for a little while longer, and definitely appreciate you, JB, doing this every day. I don't understand some of the pushback that we get when we're trying to spit facts and things like what they say. We hold these truths to be self evident. Donald Trump is fucking up right now. I mean, anybody who thinks that he's not is delusional. I mean, we see it. People want to go against the grain when we try to sit here and call out certain things and say it's not happening, but it's happening. The gentleman that said it started a long time ago, I guess, but where are we going? Right, that's the question. This is not leadership. I'm gonna beat that drum. I'm gonna die on that hill. This is not leadership.
Divine, what do you know about leadership? How many people do you lead? Since you
He
want to
leads a
talk
bunch
Nah,
of
about
nah, nah.
kids. What
See,
you
see,
mean?
Oh my
see.
God!
You
Who
can't
y'all
It's
lead
think
not
y'all
about
people
talking
me
unless
right
you're
to?
gonna
now.
do
Right?
that,
I'm not
bro.
in the
You
hot
can't.
seat in the White
well,
House.
when you want to
I don't have
talk
access to
about
the.
accountability of leadership, you got to tell me your expertise in it before I even believe anything you say.
That
Oh my
man's
goodness!
the leader of the
You don't have
kids.
to.
What
You
you
don't have
talking
to
about?
believe me. That's one thing I learned in life. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. You have to prove things to yourself. Let's start with there, and that's leadership 101 for me.
Leadership is being able to make bold, strong decisions and withstanding the
Oh, I
withering
love that.
attack.
Yeah, just cut me
With the
off mid
withering,
sentence. Yeah,
he,
just cut me off.
the withering
That ain't
attack
what
that
leadership is.
he he's had
The
to
man
deal with the
asked me a
withering
question. The
attacks
man
from
asked me a
all.
question. I wasn't done, and you just chopped me like a damn Ginsu knife. If you know what that is, you're probably too young to remember a Ginsu. But let me land my plane. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Okay. True leadership, for one, is leading. You need a team. All right. It's not do as I say, or I'm going to embarrass you publicly and remove you. Right? This man, we've learned he doesn't read daily briefs. Shit, he don't read at all. Here's a man. They asked him, what's your favorite Bible verse? Oh, a lot of them. I know a lot of them. This man could not read one Bible verse, and y'all just like, yeah, come on, man. Everybody know one verse. Just give me one. He couldn't even do that. I mean, if you want to call this leadership, I mean, I, you should know what true leadership looks like. I should not have to sit here and tell you what true leadership is.
Well, I
But
know
it,
leadership. He's been able to influence the majority of America to vote for him as a leader, and you're in the minority.
And the fact and
Wait,
whether he
what?
can
Hey,
name a
yo,
Bible verse does not speak to his leadership abilities, brother. You're not making a strong connection there at all.
nah. So I got a question,
It's
yo.
his
So I got a
ability
question.
to influence others,
So
which
Yeah,
is
all
what
right.
is he,
So
what is whether he can name a Bible verse on the spot? I mean, what's that got to do with his leadership ability?
It displays. It
nothing.
All
display.
over the
You know
place.
Hold,
what?
hold,
Y'all
hold up,
right.
hold up. I haven't
All over the
spoken to
place,
him.
Yeah,
man.
you're right. You're right.
The
I ain't
thing
gonna have
is, it displays his character, right? Because he professes that he read the Bible. He's always the best. He's read everything. He's better than the scientists. All of this shit. And then suddenly, when he gets a question, can you quote a Bible verse? He doesn't know one. That's bad leadership. You know what that is?
Oh,
That's
oh.
that's a person who masquerades as a leader, but actually he's a wannabe boss who comes off as bossy. That's
No, he's
it.
not a wannabe boss. He's
and
actually
arrogant,
your
and he's
president. So
arrogant.
that's not a
He's
wannabe.
also
He's
arrogant.
actually your president.
Yeah, well, he's not a leader. There's a difference between a leader and a boss.
He's trying to
One
be a dictator.
encompasses
He doesn't want to be a
both, and the
dictator.
other doesn't.
He's trying to be a dictator, and he's arrogant. He's trying to mirror
no.
Putin.
There's different types of leaders, and he just happens to be the kind of leader you probably don't follow.
Right. He's in the context of complete chaos, and he's trying to bring order to chaos, and he has to go through all kinds of attacks and unfair criticism. He had to go through lawfare to get to this point, and he made the greatest political comeback of all times.
Of
After
all
Of all
time.
times,
after almost
Whoa, what you? Whoa,
after
when
getting
you say
shot,
comeback,
after
he was
getting
when
shot.
shot.
you say no,
Come on, man.
come on, we doing that. We doing that.
Yeah, we're doing that
He
because we're gonna tell the whole truth, not just half the truth. The whole
yo,
truth.
look at that tape. Yo, look at that tape. All right. Look, because I'm not about being subjective, right? I would just ask you. Listen, just look at the sequence of things that happened during that video, and then really come to a conclusion. Like, hey, did he really get shot, or did that look to me? My humble opinion, I could. It's fine to disagree. That whole thing looks staged. That's just my opinion.
Justin, just look at
I
his
mean,
Of
ear.
course,
It's still
you're entitled to
there.
your opinion, but we here in the real world recognize that the man was shot in the
we both
ear.
got eyes,
His
Okay,
bro.
ear
we
is
all
still
seen it.
there, bro.
We
Come
all
on with
seen.
that.
We all seen
I don't think it
the
was
trajectory of
staged
the
when
bullet.
someone
We
died.
saw we saw what the FBI had to say about it. If you think there's an entire conspiracy behind that, that's your world,
Cool.
brother. Do what you
Hey,
want to
if
do.
if
We
you
can
All right, one
disagree.
But
second,
we back.
one second,
We can disagree. That's cool.
man, Fitty. Infinity, 1 second, guys. All right, guys. Look, if you guys, I'm not gonna interject in your conversation. I just want to do a quick reset here. You guys are in Debate the News. Hey, man, Fitty, man, you're here often now. It's time for you to go up there, click that link up top, okay? And I want you to follow the podcast and download a few episodes, man, Fitty.
What if I have Android? I can't do that, right? Because it's Apple.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you a Spotify right now, man. All right,
Oh, I
so
get you on Spotify right now. I
yeah,
love.
yeah.
So
So
hold
go look for
on.
it. So Debate the News on Spotify. Okay, hit automatic downloads, guys. So man, Fitty, I'm gonna come back to you.
I'll do that right now.
Exactly. All right, and you're gonna see your name. You're gonna see your name on this thing tomorrow, man, Fitty. For Infinity, you'll see your name on there. You hear your voice on it, and it would say Man Fitty. So with that being
To
said,
me infinity and beyond.
yes.
No, I'm just playing.
So here's the deal, folks. Yes, absolutely. Debate the News is a podcast, as you guys know, that's at home listening to us. So if you're at home and you're listening to us, we do this live every evening in the Chatter Social app. That's right, the Chatter Social app. You can get the Chatter Social app free of charge. It doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, download it, okay? Download it and share with your friends, and then come join us and speak to Manfinity live and let him know how you feel. Tell him why you agree with him. Tell us, let him know why he's the greatest personality on the show or why you dislike him. Okay, so that's what you guys are able to do. Download the Chatter Social app and come join us live. We do these rooms nightly, every night. Okay, so also if you are here in the room, Manfinity, Manfinity is heading over to he's heading over to his what you call it Spotify so that he can look for the app and download. I mean, look for
Yep, I found it. I
the big
found it. I'm
news.
doing the auto download
Yeah,
episodes.
it
This is
is. That's my man Manfinity. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You guys do like Manfinity. All right, Manfinity. If you agree with what Manfinity you agree with, if you have an Android and you're like, oh, I can't do it because I have an Android, he went right over to Spotify, he found it, and he is doing some auto downloads. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Guys, if you have an Apple, the link is up top. Click on the link up top. If you have Overcast, you can go to your Overcast, wherever you may get it. Amazon Music, wherever you may get it, and you're able to download that. So, with that being said,
real quick. You're rated 4.8 out of 5 on Spotify. We got to get that up to 5. Great
Let's see
job.
some comments making fun of
yeah,
liberals. Tell them how
yes.
it
So
is.
no, yeah, 4.8 guys, they love us. I mean, that's you have your haters, but 4.8 is high for that many ratings, for that many reviews. So with that being said, guys, CH. We got some work we got to do here. We got to do what we got to do. Ch. I see Quentin over there. I see Bull Bully. Bull Bully. Appreciate you coming back, man, because you've been here every. Yeah, you're staying here, man. You earned that shot. You got to get you a. We gotta get you a, what you call it, man, a green check because you're here, Quentin too. We gotta get Quentin one as well. So
I
what we're gonna do right
appreciate it,
now?
brother. Hey, but just
Yeah,
know this: I
absolutely.
got
So
some smoke
what
for Man Femininity, even though he's my brother.
absolutely, absolutely. But we're gonna do that after the hard reset. We're about to do a hard reset to the room, guys. What does a hard reset means? Well, guess what? You guys are gonna find yourselves in the hallway for about 5 seconds. Okay? 5 seconds. You guys are gonna find yourself in the hallway for about 5 seconds. Come right back in the room. That's a hard reset. We have to do it for the podcast purposes. So with that being said, if you are in the audience right now or on stage, okay, and CH, look, in about, I don't know, less than 10 seconds, 15 seconds, you're going to find yourself in the hallway for 5 seconds. And then you're going to be back in the room. You're able to come right back in the room. And I'll bring you guys right back. So, with that being said,